Today we're going to talk about something you've probably felt, but maybe never put a name to. It's this quiet, invisible force that pulls people toward you, not because of what you say, but because of what you don't.
Think about it. Have you ever been in a conversation and you just feel someone lean in a little closer? Or maybe they just linger after everyone else has left. It's this subtle shift in energy, something you feel in your gut before you can even explain it.
And that's the moment we're talking about. The moment someone starts to circle you, drawn into your world, not because you were the loudest person in the room, but because you were the calmest, because you were still.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because it points to this completely counterintuitive truth about how people connect. It's almost like a law of social physics that most of us just miss entirely.
Think about it this way. People are naturally curious about what they can't figure out right away. They instinctively move toward what isn't chasing after them. And in a world of chaos, they will always orbit a calm, stable center. This isn't a game. It's just how we're wired.
So what is actually going on here on a psychological level? Because this isn't magic. There's real science behind why your calm is so incredibly magnetic.
The term for this is emotional stillness. Now, let's be clear. This is not about being silent or cold or checked out. It's an active, powerful state. It's the ability to hold your own center, to stay grounded inside yourself, even when all hell is breaking loose around you.
So why is this so magnetic? Well, it boils down to three really fascinating psychological principles. Let's walk through them one by one.
First up, the nervous system mirror. Okay, this is cool. On a subconscious level, we're all like emotional tuning forks. We automatically sync up our nervous systems with the people around us. It's called co-regulation. So when you're the calmest person in the room, everyone else's nervous system instinctively tunes to your frequency. They feel safer and calmer just by being near you, and they don't even know why.
Second, we've got the information gap effect. Our brains are basically puzzle-solving machines. They hate missing information. So when you don't over-explain everything, when you don't react in the exact way people expect, you create this little gap, and people can't help it. They lean in, they get curious, they want to know what's going on beneath the surface.
And finally, there's the law of emotional contrast. I mean, just think about the world we live in. It's loud, it's anxious, it's constantly demanding our attention. So in the middle of all that noise, your quiet calm doesn't just stand out, it feels like a sanctuary. It's rare, and that rarity makes it incredibly valuable.
So the key takeaway here is that this has a real physical effect on people. Your calm helps activate their parasympathetic nervous system. That's the rest and connect mode. And that's exactly why people around you seem to calm down, why they open up to you so easily, and why they feel this deep sense of trust and just want to be near you.
But look, an ability this powerful, it usually doesn't come from an easy place. It's almost always forged in some pretty difficult environments. So let's talk about where it really comes from.
For so many of us, this stillness isn't some new age technique. It's a survival strategy we learned a long time ago. And if this is hitting home for you, it's probably because you learned that reacting, getting emotional, well, it had a high price. You learned that being loud and expressive just made you a target. So you learned to hold it all in, to become the calm center. You became the still one because chaos was just normal, and someone had to be the anchor. You became the quiet one because you learned, maybe the hard way, that your voice wasn't safe, or that it just wouldn't be heard. And that challenging past, that was the training ground for the very strength people are so drawn to in you today. You know, the philosopher Blaise Pascal said it centuries ago. Most people are deeply, deeply uncomfortable with being still. They can't do it. But you can. You've had to master it. And that ability, born out of necessity, is precisely what makes you so magnetic. It's not emptiness, it's mastery.
Okay, so let's look at how that survival skill, that thing you had to learn, has transformed into a kind of silent superpower in your life today. It probably shows up in some very specific ways.
So, just see if any of these sound familiar. You're comfortable in silence. You let other people rush to fill it. You probably listen way more than you talk, which makes people feel incredibly seen. When someone tries to push your buttons, you just don't react. Your words have weight because you choose them carefully. You keep your private life private. And you can hold your ground when someone else is having a meltdown without getting swept away.
Okay, and this right here is probably the most important distinction we can make. Your stillness is not suppression. It is choice. It's not numbness. It's sovereignty over your own emotional state. It's not detachment, it's discernment. And it isn't born from fear. It is absolute power.
So now we shift. We go from just recognizing this power in yourself to consciously owning it. This is about turning an old, unconscious adaptation into a tool you can use with intention and skill.
So how do you master this? Well, the path is actually pretty simple, but it's profound. First, get intentional about regulating your own nervous system. Breathing, grounding, whatever works for you. Second, practice observing other people's emotions without absorbing them. Be the calm scientist watching the storm. Third, just slow down. Slow your speech. Pause before you answer. And finally, always choose being genuinely present over putting on a performance.
Because when it comes right down to it, there is an undeniable truth about human beings. People are drawn to a stable center. They gravitate towards a presence that is so grounded that they cannot shake it.
So I want you to remember this. Your stillness is not a void. It isn't just the absence of sound. It is a presence. It communicates safety, depth, and strength without saying a single word.
And please, never mistake your stillness for emptiness. It is not a lack of feeling. It is a container that holds immense strength, wisdom, and perception.
Your stillness is a force of nature. It is the calm center around which the chaotic world can finally, safely turn. It is gravity.